close your eyes and allow your breathing to become slow and gentle. There is nowhere you need to be tonight, nothing to solve, and nothing to remember. The day has already done everything it needed to do. Now, all that remains is quiet. As your breathing settles into a calm and steady rhythm, imagine yourself standing beneath one of the clearest night skies you have ever seen. The air is cool against your skin. There is no wind, no noise, only silence. Above you stretches an endless canopy of stars, brighter and more numerous than you ever thought possible. Some sparkle boldly, while countless others glow so faintly they almost disappear into the darkness. Across the heavens runs a soft ribbon of pale white light, flowing gently from one horizon to the other like a silent celestial river. This is the Milky Way, our home among the stars, and tonight we will drift through it together, slowly, peacefully, with no destination except quiet wonder. For thousands upon thousands of years, people have stood exactly as you are now, looking upward into the night with curiosity and amazement. Before telescopes, before mathematics, before written language, our ancestors watched this glowing band stretch across the sky. They did not know that it contained hundreds of billions of stars. They did not know that our own sun was one tiny member of this enormous family. They simply looked upward and imagined stories. Some believed it was a heavenly river flowing across the sky. Others imagined it as a road walked by spirits or ancestors. The ancient Greeks believed it was milk spilled across the heavens, a story that eventually gave the galaxy the name we still use today, the Milky Way. Across every continent, different cultures created different legends, yet they all agreed on one simple truth. The night sky inspired wonder unlike anything else. Tonight, we won't rush to uncover every mystery. Instead, we will simply drift, allowing each discovery to arrive gently, one after another, like stars appearing slowly after sunset. There is no countdown, no launch, and no roaring engines. Only imagination. Together, we will rise quietly above the earth, leaving behind the sounds of the world below. Mountains become small shapes on the landscape. Rivers turn into silver threads. Cities shrink into clusters of warm golden lights. Soon, even entire countries become impossible to distinguish. From high above, there are no borders, no roads, and no names. There is only one beautiful blue planet floating peacefully in the darkness of space. Earth feels enormous when we stand upon it. Oceans stretch farther than we can see. Mountain ranges rise above the clouds, and forests seem endless. Yet, from the perspective of the Milky Way, our entire world is almost unimaginably small. If the galaxy were reduced to the size of the North American continent, Earth would be far smaller than a grain of sand. Every person who has ever lived, every civilization ever built, every language, every work of art, every scientific discovery, every memory, every dream, every laugh, and every heartbeat has happened upon that tiny grain. The realization is not meant to make us feel insignificant. Instead, it reminds us how extraordinary it is that such a small world can hold so much beauty. As we continue our gentle climb, the atmosphere becomes thinner until it fades away entirely. Beneath us, the Earth glows softly, wrapped in a delicate blue halo of air only a few dozen kilometers thick. This fragile layer protects every forest, every ocean, and every living creature from the harshness of space. Beyond it lies silence, unlike anything we experience on Earth. Sound cannot travel through the vacuum between the stars. Out here, there are no rushing winds or crashing waves. Even the brightest explosions in the universe unfold in complete silence. It is a peaceful kind of quiet, one that has existed for billions of years and will continue long after every human voice has faded. Ahead of us shines the moon, Earth's constant companion. It circles our planet once every 27 days, keeping the same face turned toward us almost all the time. Ancient civilizations watched its changing phases carefully, using them to measure months, seasons, and the passing of time itself. Although it appears enormous when it rises above the horizon, the moon is much smaller than Earth. It is scarred by countless craters left behind by ancient impacts, preserving a history stretching back billions of years, because, unlike Earth, it has almost no atmosphere or weather to erase the marks of time. Every crater tells a story, frozen forever beneath the sunlight. Beyond the moon waits the sun, glowing with quiet confidence at the center of our solar system. Every second, deep within its core, unimaginable amounts of hydrogen are transformed into helium through nuclear fusion. This simple process releases enough energy to warm our planet, grow forests, power the winds, and sustain nearly every form of life on Earth. The sunlight touching your face during the day began its journey inside the sun thousands of years ago, before finally escaping into space. Then it traveled another 8 minutes across 93 million miles before reaching Earth. Even something as familiar as sunlight has already completed an incredible journey before it reaches us. Our sun feels unique because it is ours. But as we begin looking farther into the galaxy, we discover that it is simply one ordinary star among hundreds of billions. Some stars are much larger, shining millions of times brighter. Others are tiny red dwarfs that glow quietly for trillions of years. Some exist in pairs, endlessly orbiting one another. Others belong to groups of 3 or even 4 stars dancing together in delicate gravitational balance. Every point of light scattered across the night sky represents another sun, each with its own history, and perhaps its own family of planets quietly circling in the darkness. As we continue farther from home, the distances become almost impossible to imagine. On Earth, we measure journeys in kilometers or miles, but the Milky Way uses a different language entirely. It measures distance with light itself. Light moves faster than anything else in the known universe, traveling almost 300,000 kilometers every second. During the time it takes you to blink, light could circle the Earth several times. Yet even moving at that astonishing speed, it requires more than 4 years to reach the nearest star beyond our sun. To cross the entire Milky Way from one side to the other would take almost 100,000 years. The galaxy is not simply large. It is vast beyond everyday imagination. Our solar system quietly circles the center of this enormous galaxy once every 230 million years. During the last complete orbit, dinosaurs still walked across Earth. Entire mountain ranges have risen and worn away since then. Oceans have opened and closed. Countless species have appeared and disappeared. Human civilization occupies only the tiniest fraction of a single galactic year. The Milky Way experiences time on a scale so immense that even the history of our planet seems like a brief moment. And yet, despite its incredible age and unimaginable size, the Milky Way remains a place of remarkable calm. Stars continue to form inside quiet clouds of gas. Others gently fade as they grow old. Planets circle faithfully around distant suns. Nebulae drift through the darkness like colorful clouds suspended forever. Everything moves, but almost nothing hurries. The galaxy has existed for more than 13 billion years, and tonight it invites us to slow down with it. As we continue our peaceful journey deeper into the Milky Way, there is nowhere else you need to be. There's only the quiet beauty of the stars, waiting patiently above, exactly as they have for billions of years. As we leave our familiar neighborhood behind, the stars begin to reveal something remarkable. From Earth, they seem scattered almost at random across the sky, like tiny diamonds sprinkled upon black velvet. But from farther away, a hidden pattern slowly begins to appear. The Milky Way is not a simple collection of stars drifting aimlessly through space. It is an enormous spiral galaxy, one of hundreds of billions scattered across the observable universe. Delicate spiral arms wind gracefully outward from a brilliant central core, each one filled with stars, clouds of gas, ancient clusters, and countless worlds that no human eyes have ever seen. From above, the galaxy resembles a giant whirlpool of light frozen in the darkness, turning so slowly that its movement can only be measured across millions of years. Our own solar system lives inside one of these graceful spiral arms, known as the Orion Arm, or more precisely, the Orion Spur. It is not one of the galaxy's largest arms, but rather a smaller branch nestled between two much larger structures called the Sagittarius Arm and the Perseus Arm. This quiet location has likely been a fortunate one. Here, the stars are spaced comfortably apart, giving planetary systems like ours the stability needed for billions of years of peaceful evolution. Closer to the crowded center of the galaxy, stars gather far more densely, increasing the chances of powerful gravitational disturbances. Out here, life has been allowed the gift of time. If you could somehow step outside the Milky Way and look back toward it, you would see a breathtaking disk stretching roughly 100,000 light years from side to side. Its thickness, however, is surprisingly small compared to its width, measuring only about 1,000 light years across the thin stellar disk. disk. This makes the galaxy resemble an enormous glowing record suspended in space, with a brilliant bulge at its center and delicate spiral arms wrapping gently around it. Thin ribbons of dark dust weave through the brighter regions, creating beautiful patterns that hide many of the stars behind them. These dark lanes are not empty. They are filled with tiny particles of cosmic dust, waiting patiently to become part of future generations of stars. Every star you have ever seen with your own eyes belongs to this single galaxy. On the clearest nights, away from city lights, you might see several thousand stars scattered across the heavens. Yet those visible stars represent only an incredibly tiny fraction of what truly exists. Astronomers estimate that the Milky Way contains somewhere between 100 billion and 400 billion stars. No one knows the exact number. It is simply too large to count with certainty. Even if you counted one star every second without stopping to sleep, eat, or rest, it would take thousands of years to reach only a tiny fraction of the galaxy's population. Between these stars lies far more than empty space. Great clouds of hydrogen drift silently through the galaxy, some stretching across hundreds of light years. They are so thin that the best vacuum ever created on Earth would still be denser than many of them. Yet, despite their delicate nature, these immense clouds contain enough material to create thousands, or even millions, of new stars over time. Gravity works quietly and patiently, gathering the gas together over millions of years until the cloud slowly begins to collapse under its own weight. There is no rush. The universe has always preferred patience over speed. Eventually, within one of these collapsing clouds, something extraordinary begins to happen. As more gas gathers together, pressure increases. Temperatures climb ever higher. What was once a cold and quiet cloud slowly transforms into a glowing sphere called a protostar. At first, it shines only faintly, warmed by the energy of its own collapse. Then, after countless years of gentle change, the temperature at its center becomes so great that hydrogen atoms begin to fuse into helium. A new star is born, without explosions or sudden flashes visible across the galaxy. Another tiny sun quietly joins the Milky Way's endless family. Our own sun experienced this same beginning about 4.5 billion years ago. Long before Earth existed, before oceans formed, before mountains rose or life appeared, our star was simply another newborn sun surrounded by a swirling disk of gas and dust. Within that rotating disk, tiny grains gently collided with one another. Over millions of years, those grains became pebbles. Pebbles became rocks. Rocks gathered into worlds. Slowly, patiently, gravity assembled the planets we know today. Every mountain beneath your feet, every grain of sand upon every beach, every drop of water in every ocean was once part of a cloud drifting quietly through the Milky Way. This means something wonderfully comforting. The atoms inside your body are ancient beyond imagination. The calcium in your bones, the oxygen you breathe, the iron flowing through your blood, and the carbon that forms every living cell were all forged inside stars that lived and died long before our sun was born. In a very real sense, every person is made from recycled stardust. We are not separate from the galaxy around us. We are one small expression of it, shaped over billions of years by stars whose names we will never know. As you continue drifting gently through the Milky Way, imagine these stellar nurseries scattered throughout the spiral arms like glowing islands of creation. Some shine with soft shades of pink and crimson, where newborn stars illuminate surrounding hydrogen gas. Others glow with cool blue light as brilliant young stars scatter their energy across enormous clouds. Everywhere throughout the galaxy, the quiet cycle continues. Stars are born. Stars shine. Stars grow old. Their material returns to space, where it patiently waits to become part of future suns, future planets, and perhaps future lives. Nothing is ever truly wasted. The Milky Way is constantly renewing itself, not through haste or chaos, but through a calm rhythm that has continued for billions of years. Tonight, as you simply listen and drift, you are sharing in that same timeless rhythm, carried gently through one small corner of an unimaginably beautiful galaxy. The farther we drift from our own little corner of the galaxy, the more clearly its graceful structure begins to reveal itself. The Milky Way is not a solid collection of stars packed tightly together, nor is it an empty sea sprinkled with isolated points of light. Instead, it is something wonderfully balanced between the two. Vast rivers of stars sweep gently around its center, following invisible paths shaped by gravity over billions of years. From a distance, these rivers become elegant spiral arms, each one wrapping slowly around the bright heart of the galaxy, like the petals of a giant cosmic flower. No one has ever photographed the Milky Way from outside. It would be impossible, because we live inside it. Everything we know about its shape has been patiently pieced together through careful observation, mathematics, and generations of astronomy. By measuring the positions of countless stars, mapping invisible clouds of hydrogen gas, and studying the movements of distant objects, astronomers have gradually assembled a portrait of our galactic home. It is rather like trying to understand the shape of an enormous forest while standing among its trees. Only by carefully examining every direction can the whole picture slowly emerge. The Milky Way contains far more than stars alone. Between them lies an immense ocean of gas and dust, stretching across unimaginable distances. Although these clouds appear dark from Earth, they are among the most beautiful places in the galaxy. Some glow softly in shades of crimson, where energetic young stars excite nearby hydrogen gas. Others shine with delicate blues as starlight scatters through microscopic dust particles. Many remain almost completely invisible until observed with infrared telescopes capable of seeing through the thick curtains of cosmic dust. These clouds are not lifeless. They are the quiet nurseries of the galaxy. Deep inside them, gravity performs its slow and patient work, Tiny differences in density gradually become larger over millions of years. A slightly thicker region attracts more gas. As more material gathers, gravity grows stronger still, drawing in even greater amounts of hydrogen. Nothing happens suddenly. There are no dramatic explosions announcing the birth of a star. Instead, the cloud gently contracts, becoming warmer and denser with every passing age. Eventually, somewhere within that quiet darkness, a faint glow appears. A newborn protostar begins to emerge, hidden inside its cocoon of gas. At first it shines only because gravity is squeezing it tighter and tighter. The surrounding cloud continues feeding the growing star, adding more mass as countless tiny particles spiral inward. The entire process unfolds over hundreds of thousands and sometimes millions of years. To the universe, it is simply another peaceful beginning. When the temperature inside the young star finally climbs above 10 million degrees Celsius, something extraordinary takes place. Hydrogen nuclei begin to merge together through nuclear fusion. Enormous amounts of energy are released, pushing outward against the inward pull of gravity. At that moment, the star reaches a beautiful balance. Gravity forever tries to collapse it inward, while fusion continuously pushes outward. These two immense forces quietly oppose one another for millions or even billions of years, allowing the star to shine steadily across the galaxy. Our own sun has maintained this delicate balance for nearly 4.5 billion years. Every second, it transforms around 600 million tons of hydrogen into helium. Yet, despite this astonishing activity, it has enough fuel remaining to continue shining for another 5 billion years. Human history occupies only the tiniest fraction of its lifetime. Entire civilizations rise and disappear, while the sun changes almost imperceptibly, patiently continuing the work it has performed since long before Earth became home to life. Throughout the Milky Way, stars come in astonishing variety. Some are tiny red dwarfs, so cool and faint that they glow softly for trillions of years, making them the longest-lived stars in the universe. Others are brilliant blue giants, dozens of times more massive than our sun. These giants burn through their fuel with breathtaking speed, living only a few million years before reaching dramatic endings. It may seem surprising that the brightest stars often live the shortest lives, while the smallest and quietest stars endure the longest. The universe reminds us once again that brilliance and longevity do not always travel together. Around many of these stars, planets quietly circle just as Earth circles the sun. Thousands of exoplanets have already been discovered, and astronomers believe there are likely hundreds of billions more scattered throughout the Milky Way. Some are giant worlds larger than Jupiter. Others are rocky planets only slightly bigger than Earth. There are planets where molten rock rains from the sky, worlds covered entirely by oceans, frozen planets wandering through eternal darkness, and perhaps gentle places where liquid water has flowed peacefully for billions of years. No one yet knows whether life exists anywhere else in our galaxy. The Milky Way is so vast that even our greatest telescopes have explored only the tiniest fraction of its countless worlds. Somewhere beneath another distant sky, another civilization may already be wondering exactly the same thing, quietly looking upward at the same glowing band of stars, asking whether they are alone. Or perhaps the galaxy remains peacefully silent, waiting patiently for life to bloom in places still far beyond our imagination. Either possibility carries its own quiet beauty. As you continue drifting through this immense river of stars, let yourself appreciate its extraordinary patience. Nothing here is rushed. Clouds take millions of years to become stars. Stars spend billions of years warming their planets. Galaxies slowly rotate over hundreds of millions of years. The Milky Way asks nothing of us except that we slow down enough to notice its gentle rhythm. Tonight, for just a little while longer, you can simply float among its endless lights, carried peacefully onward through the quiet heart of our home galaxy. If you could pause your journey for a moment and simply look around, you might notice that the darkness between the stars is not truly empty. It only appears that way because the distances are so immense. In reality, every direction contains invisible clouds of gas, faint streams of dust, wandering planets, ancient comets, energetic particles, and magnetic fields stretching across enormous regions of space. The Milky Way is alive with quiet motion. Nothing stands completely still. Every object follows its own graceful path, guided by gravity in a dance that has continued for billions of years. Some of the most beautiful places in the galaxy are the great nebulae. From Earth, they appear as faint smudges through a telescope, but up close, they are vast landscapes of glowing gas stretching across dozens or even hundreds of light years. Their delicate colors are created by different elements responding to the energy of nearby stars. Hydrogen glows with soft shades of crimson. Oxygen often shines in brilliant blue-green hues. Sulfur produces warm golden tones. Together, they paint enormous celestial clouds that resemble flowing curtains, towering mountains, or gentle waves drifting across the darkness. The famous Orion Nebula is one of these remarkable places. It lies about 1,300 light years away, close enough that its faint glow can sometimes be seen with the naked eye on clear winter nights. Although it appears small from Earth, the nebula stretches across nearly 24 light years of space. Within its glowing clouds, thousands of young stars are quietly forming. Some are only a few 100,000 years old, making them newborns compared to our sun, which has already shone for more than 4.5 billion years. Imagine drifting slowly through such a cloud. The colors would be breathtaking, yet the cloud itself would seem surprisingly thin. Even the densest regions of a nebula contain far less material than the best vacuum ever created on Earth. The brilliant appearance comes not from thick clouds like those in our atmosphere, but from unimaginably vast distances. Light travels through these glowing regions for years before finally reaching the edge of the nebula. What seems dense from afar is actually an almost perfect emptiness spread across trillions upon trillions of kilometers. As newborn stars awaken inside these clouds, they begin shaping their surroundings. Powerful streams of charged particles flow outward in every direction, gently carving cavities within the gas. Radiation pushes against nearby dust, creating graceful pillars, arches, and sweeping curtains that resemble works of art more than natural phenomena. Some of these formations survive for millions of years before slowly dissolving back into the galaxy, their material eventually joining future generations of stars. Not every star is born alone. Many emerge alongside dozens, hundreds, or even thousands of companions. These gatherings are known as star clusters. Some remain loosely connected, gradually drifting apart over hundreds of millions of years. Others stay tightly bound by gravity for astonishing lengths of time. Globular clusters, among the oldest objects in the Milky Way, contain hundreds of thousands of ancient stars packed into nearly perfect spheres. They formed when the galaxy itself was still young and have quietly orbited its outer regions ever since. If you could visit one of these globular clusters, the night sky would look completely different from our own. Instead of a few thousand visible stars, there might be tens of thousands shining at once. Brilliant suns would illuminate the darkness from every direction. Some would appear brighter than our own full moon. Shadows would rarely disappear completely because another nearby star would always provide gentle light. Yet, despite such incredible beauty, the stars remain separated by enormous distances, each quietly following its own ancient path through the cluster. Open clusters are younger and more familiar. The beautiful Pleiades, sometimes called the Seven Sisters, are one such family of stars. Although people often see only 6 or 7 with the naked eye, the cluster actually contains hundreds of members traveling together through the Milky Way. They were born from the same cloud of gas roughly 100 million years ago and still share a common journey through the galaxy. Like siblings leaving home, they will eventually drift apart over immense spans of time, becoming ordinary stars scattered among billions of others. As stars age, they slowly change. Our own sun shines with a warm yellow-white glow because its surface temperature is about 5,500 degrees Celsius. Cooler stars appear orange or deep red, while hotter stars shine with brilliant white or pale blue light. These colors are not artistic embellishments. They reveal the temperatures of the stars themselves. Simply by observing their light, astronomers can estimate how hot they are, how massive they may be, and even how far along they are in their long lifetimes. Some stars pulse gently, becoming brighter and dimmer over days or weeks. Others spin so rapidly that they bulge outward at their equators. There are stars surrounded by enormous rings of gas, stars that orbit invisible companions, and stars that race through the galaxy at astonishing speeds after being ejected by powerful gravitational encounters. The Milky Way is filled with remarkable variety, yet every one of these stars follows the same fundamental laws of physics. The universe builds extraordinary complexity from remarkably simple rules. Among all these countless suns, our own remains wonderfully ordinary. It is neither especially large nor unusually small. It is not exceptionally bright or unusually faint. It occupies no privileged location within the galaxy. And perhaps that ordinary nature is exactly what made life possible. Stable, predictable, and patient, the sun has provided billions of years of steady warmth, while life slowly unfolded upon a tiny planet circling quietly nearby. The farther we drift through the Milky Way, the more comforting this realization becomes. We are not visitors passing briefly through a strange universe. We are part of it. Every atom within us has traveled incredible distances across billions of years. Every breath contains material that once floated inside ancient stars. Every heartbeat is powered by energy that ultimately began within the core of our quiet sun. The galaxy is not simply something above us. It is something we belong to. And so we continue onward, carried gently through rivers of starlight, past glowing nebulae, ancient clusters, and newborn suns. There is still much to discover ahead. At the heart of the Milky Way waits something unlike anything we have encountered so far, a place of unimaginable gravity, hidden behind vast curtains of cosmic dust, quietly shaping the motions of hundreds of billions of stars. We will arrive there slowly, as the galaxy itself would surely prefer, with wonder, patience, and perfect calm. As we continue our gentle journey inward, the stars around us begin to grow more numerous. The quiet darkness that surrounded our own corner of the galaxy slowly gives way to a richer, brighter landscape. Every direction now seems filled with distant suns, each one following its own graceful orbit around the center of the Milky Way. The galaxy becomes denser as we travel, not because space itself grows smaller, but because more and more stars gather toward its heart. It is rather like walking through a peaceful countryside before gradually entering the glowing lights of a great city. Yet, unlike any city on Earth, this one stretches across tens of thousands of light years and has been quietly shining for billions of years. Hidden deep within this brilliant center lies one of the most fascinating places in the known universe. It cannot be seen with ordinary eyes because enormous clouds of cosmic dust block visible light from reaching us. For centuries, the center of the Milky Way remained completely mysterious. Even after telescopes became powerful enough to reveal distant galaxies, the heart of our own galaxy stayed hidden behind an immense curtain of dust. Only when astronomers learned to observe the universe using infrared light, radio waves, and X-rays did the true picture slowly begin to emerge. At the very center of the Milky Way resides an object unlike any ordinary star. It is known as Sagittarius A star, usually pronounced Sagittarius A star, or simply Sagittarius A, despite occupying a region smaller than our solar system. It contains the mass of roughly 4 million suns. This extraordinary object is a supermassive black hole, the quiet gravitational anchor around which much of our galaxy slowly revolves. The words black hole often sound frightening, but the reality is quieter than imagination usually suggests. A black hole is not a giant vacuum cleaner wandering through space, pulling everything helplessly toward it. It simply possesses an extraordinary amount of mass packed into an incredibly small region. If our own sun could somehow be replaced with a black hole of exactly the same mass, the Earth would continue orbiting almost exactly as it does today. The sunlight would disappear, but gravity itself would remain almost unchanged. Black holes obey the same laws of gravity as every other object in the universe. They simply represent those laws taken to their most remarkable extreme. Around Sagittarius A star, thousands upon thousands of stars move at astonishing speeds. Some complete entire orbits in only a few years, racing through space faster than several thousand kilometers every second. By carefully watching these stars over many decades, astronomers were able to calculate the invisible object's enormous mass. Although the black hole itself cannot be seen directly, its powerful gravity quietly reveals its presence through the graceful dance of the stars surrounding it. Imagine standing safely many thousands of light years away and watching this magnificent celestial ballet unfold over millions of years. Every star follows a curved path, each one responding to gravity with perfect precision. There are no traffic signals, no collisions, and no conductor guiding the performance. The laws of physics alone create an elegant choreography that has continued almost unchanged for billions of years. The galaxy itself becomes a slow-moving work of art, with every star contributing its own tiny motion to the whole. The central bulge of the Milky Way contains some of the oldest stars in our galaxy. Many formed more than 10 billion years ago, not long after the Milky Way itself began taking shape. These ancient stars have quietly witnessed nearly the entire history of our galaxy, while younger stars like our Sun continue forming within the spiral arms. The stars near the center often preserve a record of a much earlier universe. Looking toward them is almost like looking backward through cosmic history. Despite its crowded appearance, even the galactic center contains enormous amounts of empty space. The nearest stars remain separated by distances almost impossible for the human mind to imagine. If our sun were reduced to the size of a small marble, the nearest neighboring star would still lie hundreds of kilometers away. Space, even in its busiest neighborhoods, remains astonishingly spacious. This immense emptiness allows countless stars to orbit peacefully for billions of years without ever coming close to one another. Surrounding the galactic center are immense clouds of molecular gas, some containing enough material to create millions of future stars. These clouds drift slowly through the inner regions of the Milky Way, occasionally compressed by gravity or passing shockwaves, until new generations of stars quietly begin to emerge. Even here, beside one of the most powerful gravitational objects in the galaxy, creation continues alongside age. The universe has never stopped building. Modern observatories spread across deserts, mountaintops, and even Earth orbit work together to study this remarkable region. Radio telescopes, separated by entire continents, combine their observations to create instruments as powerful as a telescope the size of our planet itself. Using this extraordinary technique, astronomers achieved something once thought impossible. In 2022, humanity saw the first direct image of Sagittarius A star's shadow, a faint glowing ring surrounding the dark silhouette of the supermassive black hole itself. Although blurry by everyday standards, it represented one of the greatest scientific achievements in modern astronomy, confirming predictions made by Albert Einstein more than a century earlier. Yet, even after this remarkable accomplishment, countless mysteries remain. We still do not fully understand how supermassive black holes first formed. Did they begin as enormous stars in the early universe? Did countless smaller black holes slowly merge together over billions of years? Or did they arise through processes we have not yet discovered? The Milky Way keeps many of its oldest secrets close to its heart, revealing only small pieces at a time to those patient enough to observe. Perhaps that is one of the galaxy's greatest lessons. Knowledge rarely arrives all at once. Instead, it comes slowly, through curiosity, careful observation, and generations of people building upon the discoveries of those who came before them. Every answer leads gently toward another question, and every mystery solved reveals another waiting quietly beyond it. The Milky Way has never been in a hurry to share its story, and tonight, neither are we. As we leave the brilliant central regions behind, our journey continues outward once more. Ahead lie some of the most dramatic events in the life of a galaxy, stars reaching the ends of their long lives, brilliant explosions that briefly outshine entire galaxies, mysterious neutron stars spinning like celestial lighthouses, and the quiet birth of entirely new worlds from the ashes of ancient suns. Even these powerful events unfold according to the same calm rhythm that has guided the Milky Way since its earliest beginnings, reminding us once again that, on the grandest scales, the universe is both astonishingly powerful and profoundly peaceful. Stars, like every living thing in nature, have beginnings, long peaceful lives, and gentle endings. The difference is simply one of scale. While a human lifetime is measured in decades, the lifetime of a star is measured in millions or even billions of years. From our perspective, the stars seem eternal because their lives unfold so slowly that no one has ever watched an ordinary star complete its entire journey from birth to its final moments. Instead, astronomers have learned their stories by observing millions of different stars, each one at a different stage of life, like turning the pages of an enormous cosmic history book. Our own sun is currently enjoying the longest and calmest chapter of its existence. It is what astronomers call a main sequence star, steadily transforming hydrogen into helium deep within its core. This quiet process has remained almost unchanged for billions of years. Every second, unimaginable amounts of energy are released. Yet from Earth, the sun appears wonderfully steady. It rises each morning with dependable warmth, asking nothing in return. Every sunrise in human history has been made possible by the same peaceful balance between gravity pulling inward and nuclear fusion pushing outward. Eventually, however, even the most patient stars begin to change. As the supply of hydrogen inside the core slowly decreases, the balance that has existed for billions of years gradually shifts. Gravity begins to gain the upper hand, gently compressing the core until temperatures climb once again. The outer layers respond by expanding farther and farther into space. The star becomes what astronomers call a red giant, growing enormously while its surface cools enough to glow with a deep orange-red color. One day, nearly 5 billion years from now, our own sun will begin this transformation. It will slowly expand until it becomes many times larger than it is today. The inner planets will experience dramatic changes. Mercury will almost certainly disappear entirely. Venus will share the same fate. The future of Earth is less certain, but our planet will become far too hot for oceans, forests, or life as we know it. Yet, there is no reason to feel concerned. Humanity has an almost unimaginably long time before that distant future arrives. Entire mountain ranges will rise and erode away many times before the sun enters its final chapters. After spending millions of years as a red giant, a star like our sun quietly releases its outer layers into space. These glowing shells of gas drift outward in beautiful expanding bubbles known as planetary nebulae. Despite the name, they have nothing to do with planets. Early astronomers simply thought they resembled distant worlds through small telescopes. In reality, they are among the most delicate and beautiful objects in the galaxy. Soft rings of glowing hydrogen, oxygen, and other elements spread outward like enormous cosmic flowers, slowly returning their material to the Milky Way. At the very center of this glowing cloud remains the star's final gift to the universe. The hot, dense core continues shining as a white dwarf. Although only about the size of Earth, it contains roughly half the mass of the original star, packed into an incredibly small volume. A single teaspoon of white dwarf material would weigh many tons on Earth. Yet, despite its incredible density, the white dwarf no longer produces new energy. It simply glows with the heat left over from its long lifetime, cooling ever so slowly across billions of years. Not all stars end their lives so gently. The largest stars live much faster and far more dramatic lives. Because they possess enormous amounts of mass, gravity squeezes their cores much more intensely. Fusion proceeds at astonishing rates, allowing these brilliant blue giants to shine hundreds of thousands or even millions of times brighter than our sun. Yet this brilliance comes at a cost. They consume their fuel so rapidly that some survive only a few million years. In cosmic terms, they are brief flashes of light. When these massive stars finally exhaust their fuel, gravity suddenly wins its ancient contest. The core collapses in a fraction of a second, releasing one of the most powerful explosions in the universe. A supernova briefly outshines entire galaxies, producing more energy in a few weeks than our sun will emit during its entire lifetime. Across the Milky Way, these spectacular explosions scatter newly created elements into space. Gold, silver, uranium, iodine, calcium, and many of the elements that make planets and people possible owe their existence to stars that ended their lives in these magnificent events. If you wear a ring made of gold, its atoms were almost certainly created during one of these extraordinary explosions billions of years before Earth formed. The calcium strengthening your bones, the iron carried through your bloodstream, and much of the oxygen you breathe all began inside stars that lived long before the sun was born. Every human being carries within them the quiet legacy of ancient stellar lives. We truly are children of the galaxy. Sometimes, a supernova leaves behind an object almost beyond imagination. The star's core collapses into a neutron star, packing more mass than our sun into a sphere only about 20 kilometers across. Imagine compressing an entire mountain into the size of a grain of sand. The matter inside a neutron star becomes so dense that atoms themselves can no longer exist as they do elsewhere. Electrons and protons merge together, leaving behind an extraordinary ocean of neutrons, unlike anything found naturally on Earth. Many neutron stars spin astonishingly fast. Some rotate several hundred times every second, while beams of radio waves sweep across space like giant cosmic lighthouses. Whenever one of those beams briefly points toward Earth, astronomers detect a regular pulse. These remarkable objects are known as pulsars, and their timing is so precise that some rival the accuracy of the finest atomic clocks ever built. Long after the original star has disappeared, its tiny spinning core continues faithfully marking the passage of time across the galaxy. Even the most dramatic endings eventually become peaceful beginnings. The gas scattered by supernovae mixes slowly with the galaxy's great molecular clouds. Over millions of years, gravity gathers those enriched materials together once again. New stars begin to form. Around them, new planets quietly emerge. Somewhere, perhaps, oceans begin to gather beneath unfamiliar skies. Somewhere else, tiny living cells may take their very first steps toward becoming forests, animals, and civilizations yet to come. The Milky Way wastes nothing. Every ending gently becomes another beginning. As we drift onward through this endless river of stars, it becomes easier to see the galaxy not as a collection of separate objects, but as one enormous living cycle. Stars are born, they shine, they create the elements needed for life, and they return those gifts to the galaxy before quietly fading away. Across 13 billion years, this cycle has repeated countless times, slowly building the rich and beautiful universe we see today. There is something deeply comforting about its rhythm. Nothing is hurried. Nothing is truly lost. Everything simply changes, patiently becoming part of the next beautiful chapter in the long story of the Milky Way. As our journey continues through the Milky Way, we begin to notice that the galaxy is far more than stars alone. Between the brilliant suns lie countless worlds, most of them forever hidden from our eyes. For thousands of years, humanity wondered whether the tiny lights above us were simply glowing points fixed upon a great celestial sphere. Today, we know something far more remarkable. Around many of those distant stars orbit planets of every imaginable kind. Some are larger than Jupiter, others smaller than Earth. Some circle two stars instead of one, watching twin sunsets each evening. Others wander through the darkness without any parent star at all, drifting silently through interstellar space like lonely travelers with no permanent home. Only a few decades ago, no one had ever confirmed the existence of a planet around another ordinary star. Astronomers suspected they were there, but the distances were simply too great. Then, in the 1990s, the first discoveries finally arrived. Since then, thousands upon thousands of exoplanets have been found. Each discovery has quietly transformed our understanding of the galaxy. We now believe that planets are not unusual at all. They appear to be a natural consequence of star formation. Wherever stars are born, worlds often seem to follow. Some of these planets are unlike anything found within our own solar system. There are giant worlds so close to their stars that a year lasts only a few days. Their surfaces, if they have any solid ground at all, would be unimaginably hot. Powerful winds race around them at thousands of kilometers per hour, while clouds of vaporized metals drift through their skies. On certain worlds, scientists believe molten rock may fall as rain before evaporating once again under the intense heat of their nearby suns. Other planets are wrapped completely in ice. They circle dim red dwarf, stars far from the warmth needed to melt frozen oceans. Sunlight, if it reaches the surface at all, would appear as little more than a faint crimson glow upon endless fields of frost. Yet even these cold worlds remain fascinating, because beneath thick shells of ice, there may be hidden oceans kept liquid by heat rising from deep within their interiors. Here in our own solar system, moons like Europa and Enceladus have taught us that liquid water can survive even in places where sunlight is almost absent. There are worlds covered almost entirely by water. Imagine an ocean stretching uninterrupted around an entire planet, deeper than anything on Earth. There would be no continents rising above the waves, no mountains breaking the horizon, only an endless sea reflecting unfamiliar constellations overhead. Far below, beneath hundreds of kilometers of water, pressures become so immense that strange forms of ice may exist despite the tremendous heat hidden within the planet itself. Such places remind us that nature often creates realities far stranger than fiction. Some planets orbit within what astronomers call the habitable zone, the region around a star where temperatures might allow liquid water to exist upon the surface. This does not guarantee that life exists there. It simply means that the conditions could, in principle, allow it. Thousands of these potentially habitable worlds may already have been discovered, and countless more almost certainly await detection. Every year, our telescopes become more sensitive, quietly revealing another handful of distant worlds that were completely unknown only months before. The question naturally follows: could life exist somewhere among them? It is one of the oldest and most profound questions humanity has ever asked. We do not yet know the answer. The Milky Way is simply too vast for certainty. If life has appeared elsewhere, it may exist upon planets circling quiet stars many thousands of light years away. It could be microbial, drifting gently through alien oceans beneath thick layers of ice. It might flourish beneath skies lit by two suns. Perhaps somewhere forests grow beneath violet leaves instead of green. Or perhaps intelligent civilizations quietly observe their own night skies, wondering if they are alone, while looking toward the same glowing river of stars we call home. The remarkable thing is that the ingredients needed for life appear throughout the galaxy. Hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, iron, and countless other elements are found almost everywhere astronomers choose to look. Molecules considered essential for biology have been detected inside cold molecular clouds long before planets even begin to form. Nature seems surprisingly skilled at building complexity from simplicity. Whether that complexity eventually becomes living organisms remains one of the universe's most beautiful mysteries. There are regions of the Milky Way where conditions may be especially favorable for long-lived planetary systems. Astronomers sometimes refer to this broad region as the galactic habitable zone. Too close to the galactic center, stars crowd together, increasing the chances of dangerous supernovae and gravitational disturbances. Too far from the center, there may be fewer heavy elements available for building rocky planets like Earth. Somewhere between these extremes lies a broad, quiet neighborhood where stable stars and rocky worlds become more common. It is here that our own solar system quietly resides. Even if intelligent civilizations exist elsewhere, the distances separating us are almost beyond comprehension. A radio message traveling at the speed of light would still require decades, centuries, or even thousands of years to reach another civilization, depending upon where it lived. Conversation, as we understand it, becomes almost impossible. The galaxy teaches patience in every possible way. distances stretch beyond lifetimes. Histories unfold across millions of years. Even light itself must travel faithfully for ages before delivering its message. Perhaps this immense scale is part of what makes the Milky Way so calming to contemplate. Our everyday worries belong to moments measured in hours or days. The galaxy gently reminds us that time can also be measured in millions of years. Stars are in no hurry. Nebulae are in no hurry. Entire galaxies drift peacefully through the universe with extraordinary patience. There is something deeply reassuring about belonging to a place where everything important happens slowly. As we continue onward through this endless ocean of stars, countless unseen worlds quietly pass beneath our imagination. Some may forever remain mysteries. Others may one day reveal oceans, mountains, clouds, and perhaps even signs of distant life. Until then, they remain beautiful possibilities, small lights circling larger lights, each one following ancient paths through the Milky Way, each one adding another quiet verse to the greatest story ever written across the night sky. Long before human beings understood that the Milky Way was a galaxy, they simply admired its quiet beauty. Night after night, generation after generation, people lifted their eyes toward the same glowing river of stars. They did not know they were looking across one edge of an immense spiral galaxy. They had no way of measuring light years or understanding gravity. Yet they recognized something timeless. The Milky Way inspired wonder in every civilization fortunate enough to see truly dark skies. The ancient Egyptians watched the stars rise above the Nile and believed the heavens reflected the great order of the universe. Across Mesopotamia, careful observers recorded the movements of bright stars and planets upon clay tablets thousands of years before the invention of the telescope. In China, astronomers patiently mapped the heavens century after century, preserving records of comets, novae, and unusual celestial events with extraordinary precision. Indigenous peoples across Australia, Africa, and the Americas developed equally remarkable traditions, finding familiar animals, rivers, and ancestors among the stars instead of the constellations recognized in Europe. One of the most beautiful things about the Milky Way is that it belongs to everyone. No nation owns it. No border reaches it. Every human being who has ever lived has shared the same galaxy, even if each culture described it differently. Some imagined it as a heavenly road connecting distant worlds. Others saw a great river flowing across the night. Some believed birds carried souls along its glowing path, while others imagined ancient spirits gathering there after life's journey had ended. Although their stories differed, they all began with the same quiet act of looking upward. For thousands of years, the stars seemed fixed in place. They rose each evening, crossed the sky, and disappeared before dawn with comforting regularity. Only a handful of objects behaved differently. These wandering lights moved slowly against the background stars, changing position night after night. The ancient Greeks called them planets, meaning wanderers. Today, we know them as the planets of our solar system, each quietly circling the sun while we circle alongside them. The invention of the telescope transformed humanity's relationship with the sky forever. In the early 17th century, Galileo Galilei turned one of the first astronomical telescopes toward the Milky Way. What had always appeared as a faint glowing cloud suddenly resolved into countless individual stars. The mysterious white band stretching across the heavens was not a cloud at all. It was an unimaginable collection of distant suns, packed so closely together that human eyes could not distinguish them individually. With that single observation, the universe instantly became far larger than anyone had imagined. Over the centuries that followed, larger and more powerful telescopes revealed even greater wonders. Astronomers discovered delicate nebulae glowing softly among the stars. They mapped star clusters containing hundreds of thousands of ancient suns. They learned that the Milky Way was only one galaxy among billions, each separated from the others by oceans of empty space, almost impossible to comprehend. Every improvement in technology expanded humanity's view a little farther, reminding us that the universe always held more beauty than we expected. One of the greatest breakthroughs came not from larger mirrors, but from learning to observe light beyond the narrow range visible to human eyes. Our eyes perceive only a tiny portion of the electromagnetic spectrum. Infrared light reveals stars hidden behind curtains of dust. Radio waves uncover enormous clouds of hydrogen drifting silently through the galaxy. X-rays expose the violent environments surrounding neutron stars and black holes. Gamma rays reveal some of the most energetic events in the universe. The Milky Way looks completely different depending upon which kind of light we choose to observe. Modern observatories stand in some of the quietest places on Earth. High deserts, remote mountaintops, frozen plateaus, and even the emptiness of space itself provide ideal locations for studying the heavens. Here, astronomers patiently collect tiny streams of ancient light that have traveled across the galaxy for thousands or even millions of years. Some of the photons entering a telescope tonight began their journey long before human civilization existed. They have crossed unimaginable distances simply to end their travels inside a carefully polished mirror. Space telescopes have changed our understanding even further. Free from Earth's atmosphere, they observe the universe with astonishing clarity. The Hubble Space Telescope revealed breathtaking images of glowing nebulae, distant galaxies, and ancient star clusters that inspired millions of people around the world. More recently, the James Webb Space Telescope has looked even deeper into space and farther back in time, revealing some of the earliest galaxies ever observed. Each image reminds us that the universe is not only vast, but also filled with extraordinary beauty. Perhaps the most remarkable thing about astronomy is that it allows us to travel without ever leaving home. By studying light alone, scientists can determine a star's temperature, its chemical composition, its motion through space, and even whether unseen planets orbit around it. Every beam of light carries information across the cosmos like a quiet messenger. Long before a telescope captures it, that light has already completed an incredible journey across the Milky Way. Even now, as you rest comfortably and listen to these gentle thoughts, thousands of observatories around the world continue watching the night sky. They patiently record the slow dance of galaxies, the birth of new stars, the fading glow of ancient supernovae, and the quiet movements of distant planets. Together, they help humanity understand not only where we are, but also where we came from. Every new discovery adds another small piece to the great story of the Milky Way, a story that continues unfolding with every passing night. Yet, despite all we have learned, the galaxy remains wonderfully mysterious. Astronomers estimate that we have explored only a tiny fraction of our own galactic home. Countless stars remain unstudied. Billions of planets have never been seen. Vast clouds drift silently through space, waiting to become future generations of suns. Somewhere beyond our current understanding, discoveries still wait patiently for future explorers. The Milky Way has shared many of its secrets, but it has kept many more, reminding us that wonder is not something to be solved once and forgotten. It is something that continues growing the more we learn. As our quiet voyage carries us farther onward, the stars behind us blend once again into a soft, glowing river. Ahead lies an even greater journey, one that will take us beyond the Milky Way itself. We will discover the neighboring galaxies that share our corner of the universe, the gentle dance between them, and the extraordinary future awaiting our own galaxy billions of years from now. But for now, simply breathe slowly, let the silence surround you, and enjoy the comforting thought that every night sky humanity has ever admired belongs to the same magnificent home among the stars. Eventually, every journey through the Milky Way leads us to an extraordinary realization. Our galaxy, immense though it seems, is not alone. Beyond its graceful spiral arms, beyond the faintest stars visible to the human eye, beyond the clouds of glowing hydrogen and drifting nebulae, lies an ocean of space so vast that even the Milky Way becomes only a single island within it. As we continue our quiet voyage outward, the familiar river of stars slowly shrinks behind us until, for the first time, we can see our galactic home in its entirety. From this impossible but peaceful viewpoint, the Milky Way is breathtaking. Its spiral arms curve gently around a warm golden center, wrapped in delicate ribbons of dark cosmic dust. Hundreds of billions of stars combine into a single graceful swirl of light, floating silently in the darkness. It turns so slowly that millions of years pass before its movement becomes noticeable. There are no sounds, no rushing winds, only quiet motion on a scale beyond imagination. Nearby drifts another magnificent galaxy. It appears at first as a faint oval of soft white light, But as we approach, its enormous size becomes impossible to ignore. This is the Andromeda Galaxy, the nearest large spiral galaxy to our own. It lies approximately 2.5 million light years away. The light reaching us tonight left Andromeda long before human beings first learned to build cities. By the time those ancient photons began their journey, entirely different species walked across Earth, unaware that a neighboring galaxy was quietly sending them a message across the universe. Like the Milky Way, Andromeda contains hundreds of billions of stars. It possesses glowing spiral arms, dark lanes of dust, brilliant star clusters, and countless worlds that remain forever hidden within its immense structure. If someone stood upon a planet orbiting a quiet star somewhere inside Andromeda, their night sky might look remarkably similar to our own. They too would see a glowing river stretching across the heavens, unaware that another galaxy filled with curious minds existed millions of light years away. The distance between our two galaxies is almost impossible to imagine. If every light year were represented by a single step, you would need to walk more than 2.5 million steps simply to reach Andromeda. Even light, the fastest traveler in the universe, requires 2.5 million years to complete the journey. Space between galaxies is astonishingly empty, far emptier even than the vast distances separating stars within the Milky Way. It is a silence so complete that words barely begin to describe it. Yet, despite this immense separation, something gentle is happening. Gravity, the quiet architect of the cosmos, continues reaching across the darkness. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, the Milky Way and Andromeda are drifting toward one another. Their approach is incredibly gradual, occurring at roughly 100 kilometers every second. Although that speed sounds extraordinary, the galaxies remain so far apart that their meeting will not occur for another 4 to 5 billion years. When people first hear that two galaxies are destined to collide, they often imagine unimaginable destruction. In reality, the event will be surprisingly peaceful because stars are separated by such enormous distances, almost none will collide directly. Instead, gravity will slowly reshape both galaxies over hundreds of millions of years. Spiral arms will stretch and twist into graceful streams of stars. Vast clouds of gas will gently compress, triggering the birth of countless new suns. The galaxies will pass through one another like delicate clouds of glowing mist before eventually merging into a single larger galaxy. If anyone exists within the solar system during that distant future, the night sky will become more beautiful than anything humanity has ever witnessed. Andromeda will grow larger century after century until it spans much of the heavens. Streams of brilliant stars will arch overhead. New constellations will appear while familiar ones slowly disappear. The galaxy itself will become a living work of art, changing so gradually that generations would scarcely notice the transformation unfolding around them. Our sun, by then, will also be approaching the later stages of its life. It is possible that Earth will no longer resemble the peaceful blue world we know today. Oceans may have long since vanished beneath an increasingly brilliant sun. Yet somewhere within the newly forming galaxy, countless other stars will continue shining quietly, each surrounded by their own families of planets. The universe never truly stands still. Even as one chapter closes, another gently begins. The Milky Way and Andromeda are not the only members of this quiet celestial neighborhood. Around them orbit dozens of smaller galaxies, many containing only a few million stars, while others possess several billion. Together they form what astronomers call the local group, a small gathering of more than 50 known galaxies gently bound together by gravity. Compared to the vast clusters elsewhere in the universe, our local group is surprisingly peaceful. Galaxies drift slowly around one another across billions of years, each following graceful paths shaped by invisible gravitational tides. Beyond the local group lies an even greater structure known as the Virgo supercluster, containing thousands of galaxies spread across more than 100 million light years. And even that immense gathering is only one thread within the enormous cosmic web, a breathtaking network of galaxies stretching across the observable universe like glowing strands of silk. Between these strands lie vast cosmic voids, regions so empty that millions of light years may pass before another galaxy appears. The universe, despite containing trillions upon trillions of stars, is mostly peaceful emptiness. It is astonishing to realize that everything humanity has ever known exists within one tiny corner of this extraordinary web. Every story, every civilization, every invention, every language, every piece of music, every work of art, every dream ever dreamed has unfolded inside one modest spiral galaxy, drifting among countless others. Rather than making our lives feel small, this perspective has a curious way of making them feel precious. Against such an immense backdrop, every sunrise becomes a rare gift, every quiet evening beneath the stars a remarkable privilege. As we slowly turn our attention back toward the Milky Way, its familiar spiral arms welcome us home once again. We have wandered beyond our galaxy and glimpsed the wider universe, only to discover that our own celestial home is every bit as beautiful as we imagined. The stars continue their patient journeys. Nebulae quietly create new suns. Ancient clusters circle the galaxy exactly as they have for billions of years. Nothing has changed during our brief excursion except our understanding of just how extraordinary our home truly is. The farther we travel through the universe, the more comforting one truth becomes. Everywhere we look, we find the same gentle laws shaping everything around us. Gravity quietly gathers matter together. Stars patiently shine. Galaxies slowly dance through the darkness. Across unimaginable distances and unimaginable spans of time, the universe remains remarkably calm. Perhaps That is why looking toward the stars has always brought people peace. In the endless silence of the Milky Way, we are reminded that there is no hurry. There never has been. For all of humanity's history, the Milky Way has been both familiar and mysterious. Every generation has looked toward it with different questions. Ancient civilizations asked what it was. Early astronomers wondered how large it might be. Modern scientists ask how it formed, how it changes, and whether life exists elsewhere among its countless stars. Every answer has opened the door to even greater mysteries, reminding us that the universe is far richer than our imaginations first believed. Although our telescopes have become astonishingly powerful, there is still so much we have yet to discover. Astronomers estimate that only a small fraction of the Milky Way has been explored in any meaningful detail. Billions of stars remain poorly understood. Countless planets have never been observed directly. Entire regions hidden behind thick clouds of cosmic dust remain mysterious, waiting patiently for future generations to study them. The galaxy still keeps many of its oldest stories quietly hidden. One of humanity's greatest achievements has been learning to send machines beyond our own world. The Voyager spacecraft, launched in 1977, continue their remarkable journeys today. Long after completing their original missions, they drift steadily outward through interstellar space, carrying with them a small golden record containing sounds and images from Earth. Soft greetings spoken in many languages, the songs of birds, the sound of rain, ocean waves rolling onto distant shores, and music created by people across our planet, all travel quietly aboard these tiny ambassadors. It is comforting to imagine them continuing their silent voyage. Every second, they move a little farther from the sun. Every year, they enter regions no spacecraft has ever visited before. One day, tens of thousands of years from now, they may pass near distant stars whose light today appears only as tiny points in our night sky. The chances that anyone will ever find them are incredibly small, yet that was never truly the point. The Voyager spacecraft remind us that curiosity itself is one of humanity's greatest qualities. Imagine, for a moment, what future generations may accomplish. Perhaps one-day spacecraft powered by technologies we cannot yet imagine will slowly explore neighboring star systems. They may photograph distant planets beneath unfamiliar skies. They may drift through glowing nebulae that today appear only as faint clouds in our telescopes. They may quietly orbit stars whose names have not yet been given, patiently expanding humanity's understanding of our galactic home. Even if such journeys remain thousands of years away, the Milky Way invites us to dream. Every great voyage in history began first as an idea. Sailors once crossed unknown oceans guided only by stars. Explorers climbed mountains no one believed could be reached. Scientists built telescopes capable of seeing galaxies billions of light years away. Step by step, generation after generation, humanity has gently expanded the horizon of what is possible. Perhaps the greatest lesson the Milky Way offers is humility. It reminds us that we are part of something far older and far greater than ourselves. The atoms within every living thing were forged inside ancient stars. The oxygen filling our lungs once drifted through enormous clouds of gas between the stars. Even the calcium within our bones and the iron within our blood began their journeys billions of years before Earth existed. We are not strangers visiting the universe. We are one of its many beautiful creations. From this perspective, every person becomes connected. Every nation, every culture, every language, every generation shares the same tiny planet, orbiting the same quiet star within the same graceful galaxy. The differences that sometimes seem so important from the ground become almost invisible from among the stars. Borders disappear. Cities fade into darkness. Only one small blue world continues its peaceful journey around the sun. The Milky Way has watched continents drift apart. It has witnessed mountains rise and slowly wear away beneath wind and rain. It has seen forests appear where deserts once stretched, and oceans cover lands that are now dry. Long before the first human walked across Earth, the galaxy was already quietly turning. Long after our own civilization has become part of history, it will continue the same slow dance among the stars. Yet this thought need not feel lonely. Instead, it can be deeply comforting. The universe does not hurry. Galaxies are patient beyond imagination. Stars spend billions of years shining quietly. Nebulae take millions of years to become new suns. Even black holes, among the most mysterious objects in existence, evolve across timescales so immense that human history becomes only a brief moment within their stories. Perhaps there is something we can learn from that patience. Our own lives often feel filled with urgency. There are schedules to keep, decisions to make, and worries that seem impossible to quiet. But when viewed against the gentle rhythm of the Milky Way, many of those concerns begin to soften. The galaxy asks nothing of us except that we pause for a moment and simply look upward. Tonight, we have drifted through glowing nebulae where stars are born. We have wandered among ancient star clusters older than nearly everything on Earth. We have quietly circled the mysterious black hole resting at the galaxy's heart. We have watched great stars complete their lives and scatter the elements that would one day become planets, oceans, forests, and people. We have journeyed beyond the Milky Way itself and looked back upon our beautiful spiral home, suspended within an ocean of countless other galaxies. And still, after everything we have seen, perhaps the most remarkable discovery is also the simplest. Home has always been here, not merely on Earth, not only within the solar system, but within this quiet family of hundreds of billions of stars we call the Milky Way. Every sunrise you have ever witnessed has happened here. Every cloud that has drifted across the sky, every snowfall, every wave that has reached a shore, every bird that has taken flight, every child who has laughed, every quiet evening beneath the stars. All of it has unfolded within one small corner of this magnificent galaxy. As our gentle journey slowly begins turning homeward, the Milky Way shines behind us with the same calm beauty it has always possessed. Its spiral arms continue their graceful motion. Its stars continue their ancient journeys. Somewhere within its glowing clouds, new suns are quietly being born. Somewhere else, old stars peacefully fade into the darkness, leaving behind the ingredients for future worlds yet to come. The story of the Milky Way is not truly finished. It is still being written, even now, with every passing second, with every new star, with every distant sunrise on worlds we have not yet discovered, and somehow, in its own quiet way, you are part of that story too. As our peaceful journey begins bringing us closer to home, the familiar stars of our own neighborhood slowly return. The vast spiral arms of the Milky Way remain behind us, glowing softly like the gentle curve of a great celestial river. From this distance, our galaxy appears calm beyond words, quietly rotating through the darkness exactly as it has for billions of years. It asks for nothing. It rushes toward nothing. It simply exists, patiently carrying hundreds of billions of stars through the endless night. There is something deeply comforting about that thought. In a universe where almost everything changes, the Milky Way reminds us that change itself can happen with extraordinary gentleness. Far ahead, one small yellow-white star slowly becomes brighter than the countless others surrounding it. There is nothing especially unusual about this star when viewed from across the galaxy. It is not among the brightest. It is not among the largest. It does not sit at the center of anything important. It quietly circles the Milky Way like billions of other suns. Yet to us, it is home. This ordinary star has spent nearly 4.5 billion years warming a small family of planets, providing just enough light and energy for life to flourish upon one tiny blue world. Sometimes the most extraordinary places are not the largest or the brightest, but simply the ones we know best. As we continue drifting closer, the familiar shape of our solar system slowly emerges from the darkness. The giant planets continue their graceful journeys, each following paths established billions of years ago. Neptune quietly circles far from the sun in regions where sunlight is little more than a brilliant star. Uranus turns gently upon its unusual sideways axis. Saturn carries its magnificent rings through the darkness with timeless elegance, while Jupiter, the giant guardian of the solar system, continues sweeping through space with its immense family of moons. Every world follows its own peaceful rhythm, and together they create a quiet harmony that has endured for ages beyond imagination. Passing the outer planets, we begin moving inward toward the warmer regions of the solar system. Countless icy bodies drift silently within the distant reaches beyond Neptune. These frozen remnants preserve a record of the earliest days of planetary formation, unchanged for billions of years. Occasionally, one begins a slow inward journey toward the sun, becoming a comet whose glowing tail has has inspired wonder among countless generations of skywatchers. Long before science explained their nature, these quiet visitors crossed the heavens as mysterious messengers from the darkness beyond the known world. The sunlight grows steadily brighter as we approach the inner planets. Mars appears first, its soft, reddish surface marked by ancient volcanoes, enormous canyons, and frozen polar caps. Once, rivers may have flowed across its landscape beneath a thicker atmosphere. Today it rests quietly beneath a pale sky, carrying within its rocks the memory of a very different past. Scientists continue studying Mars carefully, searching for clues that may reveal whether simple life ever appeared there long ago. Even if the answer remains unknown for many years, the search itself reminds us how naturally curiosity accompanies humanity wherever we choose to look. Soon, Earth appears ahead, glowing softly against the blackness of space. From this distance, it seems almost impossibly delicate. White clouds swirl above deep blue oceans, while broad continents rest quietly beneath the changing weather. A thin atmosphere surrounds the entire planet like a fragile veil of pale blue light. It is astonishing to remember that every forest, every mountain, every desert, every river, every city, every animal, and every human being exists within this remarkably thin layer of air, wrapped around a small sphere drifting through an ocean of stars. Astronauts who have seen Earth from orbit often describe a profound feeling of unity. From space, there are no visible borders separating nations. There are no roads dividing countries, no political boundaries, and no signs of the disagreements that sometimes occupy our attention. There is only one beautiful world suspended in silence, endlessly turning beneath the sunlight. Oceans connect continents. Clouds drift freely wherever the winds carry them. Sunlight falls equally across mountains, forests, villages, and great cities alike. Looking upon Earth from this perspective makes it difficult not to appreciate how much every living thing shares. The moon continues its faithful orbit nearby, just as it has for billions of years. It has silently watched the entire story of life unfold upon Earth. It watched as the first oceans formed beneath ancient skies. It watched the rise of forests, the age of the dinosaurs, the appearance of mammals, and eventually the first human beings who looked upward with curiosity. For countless generations, people have found comfort in its familiar light, never realizing that the moon itself has quietly accompanied nearly every chapter of Earth's remarkable history. Now, we begin descending gently through the atmosphere. The darkness of space slowly gives way to brilliant shades of blue. Sunlight scatters across the air, transforming the black sky into the familiar daylight above our world. White clouds drift peacefully beneath us, casting soft shadows across the oceans below. The air grows warmer. Familiar colors return. Greens, blues, and golden landscapes gradually replace the endless black velvet of interstellar space. It feels less like returning from a distant journey and more like quietly waking from a beautiful dream. As the ground slowly comes back into view, something remarkable becomes clear. The universe has not become smaller because we have returned home. If anything, home has become larger. We now understand that every field, every quiet lake, every mountain path, every tree moving gently in the wind exists within a galaxy of breathtaking beauty. The ordinary world around us has become extraordinary simply because we now know where it belongs. Earth is not isolated. It is one peaceful world carried through the cosmos by a quiet star inside one magnificent spiral galaxy. Perhaps tomorrow night, when you look upward once again, the stars will feel slightly different. They may no longer appear as distant points of light scattered randomly across the sky. Instead, they may seem like familiar neighbors sharing the same ancient home. Somewhere beyond the darkness lie glowing nebulae where new stars are quietly forming. Ancient clusters continue their slow journeys around the galaxy. Invisible planets circle distant suns. At the heart of the Milky Way, the supermassive black hole continues its silent watch while the entire galaxy turns gracefully around it. And through all of this, our little world continues its peaceful voyage, carrying every one of us together through the endless night. There is something deeply reassuring about belonging to such a patient universe. The stars are in no hurry. The galaxies are in no hurry. Even time itself seems to move more gently among the heavens. Tonight, you have traveled farther than any spacecraft ever could through the simple power of imagination. You have drifted among newborn stars, wandered through glowing nebulae, circled the quiet heart of our galaxy, explored neighboring galaxies, and returned safely home once more. Now, with Earth peacefully beneath you and the Milky Way stretching silently overhead, there is nothing left to accomplish except rest. The universe will continue its gentle dance while you sleep, just as it has every night for billions of years. Now, as our journey gently reaches its final destination, there is no need to keep traveling any farther. The stars will continue their endless dance without us. The Milky Way will continue turning with quiet patience. Every nebula, every planet, every distant sun, and every silent galaxy will remain exactly where it has always been, moving so slowly that billions of years pass like gentle moments in the life of the universe. We have wandered across unimaginable distances together, yet somehow we have arrived back at the simplest and most comforting place of all home. Imagine yourself once more beneath a clear night sky. The air is calm. There is no sound except the quiet rhythm of your own breathing. Above you, the Milky Way stretches from one horizon to the other exactly as it has for countless generations before us. The same river of stars watched over the first people who ever looked upward with wonder. It watched over the great civilizations of history. It watched over every explorer who crossed unknown oceans using the stars for guidance. Tonight, it watches peacefully over you as well. Perhaps the most beautiful thing about the Milky Way is not its enormous size or the hundreds of billions of stars it contains. Perhaps Its greatest gift is perspective. It quietly reminds us that we are part of something much older than ourselves. The worries that seemed so important this morning become a little softer when placed beside 13 billion years of cosmic history. The hurried pace of daily life begins to slow when compared with stars that patiently shine for billions of years. The universe asks for nothing except that we pause from time to time, breathe deeply, and remember that we belong here. Everything around you has a story that reaches farther into the past than imagination can easily follow. The oxygen filling your lungs was forged inside ancient stars. The calcium within your bones once drifted through glowing nebulae long before Earth existed. The iron carried by your blood was born inside stellar explosions that illuminated the galaxy billions of years ago. Even the water covering most of our planet contains atoms older than the sun itself. Every part of you has traveled an extraordinary journey before becoming part of your life today. In that sense, you are not merely looking at the universe. The universe is quietly looking back through you. While you rest tonight, the Earth will continue turning beneath the stars. It will complete one gentle rotation before morning arrives. At the same time, it will move another 2.5 million kilometers along its yearly path around the sun. The sun itself will travel millions of kilometers farther around the Milky Way. Our galaxy will continue drifting through the local group, while the local group itself quietly moves through the enormous cosmic web. Everything is in motion, yet from where we rested, all feels perfectly still. Sometimes, the greatest movements happen so slowly that only patience allows us to notice them. Far beyond the reach of human eyes, newborn stars are quietly igniting inside cold clouds of hydrogen. Elsewhere, aging suns gently release their final glowing shells into space. Ancient globular clusters continue circling the galaxy exactly as they have for more than 10 billion years. Black holes patiently shape the motions of nearby stars without making a sound. Entire galaxies slowly approach one another across millions of light years, preparing for encounters that will not happen until long after today's mountains have become dust. The universe never truly sleeps, yet it never seems hurried either. Its quiet rhythm has continued since almost the beginning of time itself. There is something deeply comforting about knowing that tomorrow night the stars will still be there. The Milky Way will still arch across dark skies wherever the night remains free from bright city lights. Somewhere, a child will look upward for the first time and wonder what those countless tiny lights really are. Somewhere, an astronomer will patiently collect another stream of ancient light, arriving after thousands or millions of years of travel. Somewhere, another person, just like you, will find a few moments of peace beneath the same sky that has inspired humanity for countless generations. As your thoughts become quieter, imagine the stars growing softer as well. They do not disappear. Instead, they simply become more distant, like gentle lanterns fading into a comfortable mist. The bright center of the Milky Way slowly melts into a delicate silver glow stretching across the heavens. The constellations relax into familiar patterns. The darkness between the stars feels warm rather than empty, peaceful rather than silent. Everything around you seems perfectly balanced. Take one slow breath, allowing your shoulders to relax a little more. Then another, feeling every muscle grow heavier against your pillow. There's nowhere else you need to travel tonight. You have already crossed the galaxy. You have wandered among newborn stars, ancient clusters, glowing nebulae, quiet planets, mysterious black holes, neighboring galaxies, and the endless rivers of light that connect them all. Every remarkable place we visited will continue waiting patiently, exactly where it has always been. The Milky Way has no beginning that we could witness, and no ending that we will ever see. It is simply part of an ongoing story written across billions of years, one quiet chapter following another. Tonight, for a little while, your own story became part of that greater journey. Tomorrow, the stars will continue shining. The planets will continue circling their suns. New discoveries will slowly reveal themselves to curious minds. But for now, none of those things require your attention. They are perfectly capable of continuing without you for one peaceful night. So let the galaxy drift gently into the background of your thoughts. Let the stars become soft points of comforting light. Let the quiet rhythm of the universe blend with the quiet rhythm of your breathing. Feel the calm of billions of years surrounding you like a warm blanket. Rest knowing that your small blue world continues its graceful journey through one magnificent spiral galaxy, and that the Milky Way will patiently watch over another peaceful night, just as it has done for countless generations before, and just as it will for countless generations still to come. Sleep peacefully, knowing that somewhere above, beyond the clouds and beyond the blue sky, our quiet galaxy continues its endless dance among the stars.